Everyone agrees, from the Detroit police chief to the mayor to the council. The city needs more officers patrolling the streets. It's a no-brainer, they say. More officers means a safer Detroit.
Our neighborhoods need officers out in the precincts.
Despite wranglings over Detroit's budget, City Council Pro Tem Gary Brown says there is a way to get more officers on the street without spending more money.
Nothing will help like the redeployment of officers that are doing clerical administrative work onto the streets of the city of Detroit.
Brown ought to know about policing the city. He was on the force for some 26 years. He says the more than 60 officers assigned to the 36th District Court, 60 in communications, and more than 120 well-trained armed officers who man desks in precincts and district offices should be on the streets. By Brown's calculations, there are more than 600 officers who should be doing patrol.
We need the will to get this done.
Brown doesn't fault the newly appointed Detroit Police Chief, Warren Evans.
This didn't happen on Warren Evans' watch. It's been going on for the last 30, 35 years. But it's time to bring it to a head. Evans says he's trying to do just that. He has already moved about 100 officers from desks to the street and says that he will consider moving more. The challenge, he says, is long-standing union contracts.
These are collectively bargained spots where previous contracts or previous arbitrators have said these are positions that have to be controlled by the police.
We're talking about having full-duty police officers acting as dispatchers, 911 operators. I think it's ridiculous.
Bill Dwyer began his 50-year law enforcement career in Detroit. He was chief in Farmington Hills and now commissioner in Warren. He says his emergency dispatchers are civilians. He believes cops should be on the street and civilians should handle desk jobs.
If you replace them with civilians, you're still going to have to pay the civilians.
Marty Vandemer is the president of the Detroit Police Officers Association, the union that represents officers.
The bottom line here is you want a sworn officer there that can obviously be activated at any time. We're about 1,000 short now. We were once 2,900 to 3,100 police officers working in the city of Detroit about 10 years ago.
In March of this year, not counting those on sick, personal, or military leave, the union says some 2,232 officers were on the payroll, with more than 600 of them doing desk jobs. As Brown points out, that's about 30% of the force off the street, and that's compared to a city like San Francisco, where about 400 of their 2,350 officers do desk jobs. The rest are on patrol.
I'm saying it's time now that we need to negotiate that contract and negotiate work rule changes that will have savings in dollars, as well as, more importantly, put additional police officers out on the streets of the city of Detroit patrolling.
So far, Councilmember Brown has not determined just how much money could be saved with the civilians versus police scenario, but he says it is most definitely time to examine the possibilities. Bill Proctor, Channel 7 Action News.